Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Sarah Newman, and I'm really excited to show you these gorgeous supplies from our friends at 49 and Market. Today we're playing with their Viken collection, which is a stunning set of papers and embellishments in a beautiful watercolor palette. So let's take a look at what we have here today. I'm going to move aside these things. We'll take a look at those in a second, but we can start with the 12 by 12 pattern paper pack. Now this contains 8 double-sided papers, and you can see the designs here, but let's just take a flip through. Now on the back of the front cover is a sheet of fussy cut elements. So you've got those right away that you can work with, but then let's take a look at these patterned designs. They're so stunning. Lots of gorgeous florals, some faux collage, really beautiful colors, turquoise, lilac, aqua. Now on the back of each of these really heavily patterned papers, you've got a really nice neutral design here. Now on the bottom of each of the papers, you've also got a really easy cutaway border. So don't forget, you can use those as well. So just take a look. Stunning designs, and everything is, of course, totally color coordinated, super easy to use. So those are just a few of the designs in that collection. Now you've also got a 6 by 8 collection pack as well. Now this also has some pattern papers and a fussy cut sheet. It's a total of 28 sheets, 3 each of 9 double-sided patterns, and we can just take a quick flip through here. Again, you can see you've got a nice neutral design as well as these beautiful floral elements on here too. And we can flip all the way back here and you can see some of those fussy cut elements too. So lots of really fun things all coordinated that you can play with. Now to go along, we've got some embellishments. Now here is the laser cut elements collection. Now I love this from 49 and Market. You can see the range of elements that you've got here, but just take a look. These are so easy to use and absolutely stunning. So you've got some lace borders, you've got some faux ribbon, you've got lots of frames and words, and of course these beautiful botanicals. And they all just pop right out of the backing sheet here. Super simple to use. Now, another thing to go along are rub-on transfers. Now, I think you know how much I love 49 and Market rub-ons, and I'm so excited about this collection. So just take a look here. These are so beautiful. Of course, designed to perfectly coordinate, really easy to use. You get the applicator in here as well, and they just work so beautifully on those pattern papers. So we'll definitely take a look and do a quick little demo with these too. Now, last but definitely not least, we've got a collection of tags. So there's a set of 18 tags, and you can just take a look at some of these designs. Some of them are just a faux watercolor effect, nice background effect, and then some of them are also patterned here as well. Now what I love about these is that they make a great accent for your cards or other paper crafts, but of course they come in handy to tie onto a gift package as well. All right, so I've got a couple of projects to share with you today and some demos too. As you can see, we have a lot to explore, and I'm really glad you're here. Come play with us. Let's start with a simple card project, and we can see how these elements come together. So this card features papers from the 6 by 8 collection, and I've simply covered the front of a 5 by 6.5 inch card blank with this pattern paper. So glued it down and then trimmed around the outside edge. So this is giving me a really easy and great foundation to my mixed media collage focal here. Now one thing I like to do is add a little bit of depth and dimension around the outside edges, and you may be able to see that I've already started over here on the side. And this is simply done by using the pigment ink pad. This is the Spectrum Noir Midas Gold. There's also a silver, which works beautifully too. But I love the warm gold, especially with some of these cool tones. All you need to do to achieve this effect is simply hold the ink pad slightly at an angle and just apply the ink like this. Now you can have a heavy application or a light application, whichever look you like best. And I always like to start with a light approach because you can always add more. But I think you can see that beautiful depth and shading around the outside edges. And doing that around all four sides just creates a nice bit of shadow on here and creates a really nice frame for my collage focal. Now to do a focal like this, super simple to do. What I like to do is start with a base piece. So in this case, I have this element here, which is from the laser collection. So in this case, I could use any of the tags from the collection. So they can go either vertically or horizontally. You've got a lot to choose from. So you could do something like this. I'll grab this green one here. You can have the tag tie going this way, or of course it could go this way as well. So lots of choices there. And then you can simply start adding some of these elements around and on top of this base piece. So this is kind of planting all of your other elements. So I've got a little snippet of this laser lace, maybe a couple of faux postage pieces. You can pop those down. There's also some really nice laser sentiments. You can use that here. And this laser piece, this laser lace piece, could go under the tag, could also go under that sentiment. And then of course there are a lot of little butterflies and dragonflies and other accents that you can use around here too. So when you're creating a collage, overlapping your elements is a really easy way to create a cohesive effect, and varying the sizes and shapes of your elements works as well. So that's the process that I followed when I was creating this focal element. We can talk a little bit more about this too. And this is one thing I love about 49 and Market collections. They just make it so easy to create collages because you have so many different images that mix and match so beautifully. So I've clustered everything onto this laser card base here, this laser cut piece here, with the Dreamer word on top, and that's extending past the edges for a little bit of added interest. Then I have a tag from the tag set with a rub-on on top. That's popped up on foam tape for a little bit of dimension. And you can see the tag tie here, it kind of drapes down a little bit. So here's my trick for this. I've glued only the knotted piece. So this piece is, this part of it is a little bit freer. And I use the Cosmic acrylic glue. I just put a little dab underneath that knot. And then while it's wet, I take an acrylic block, a stamping block, and pop that on top. And that will hold it in place. And it also, because I can see through it, I can make sure that this tag tie isn't moving around. So that's my tip for gluing those tag ties in place so they're not kind of moving all over the place here. So then tucked underneath, I have a snippet of laser lace, which is actually a longer piece. I've just trimmed it down. Got a leaf die cut on here. And then to add balance, I've added a dragonfly at the opposite corner. So now my entire base piece here is attached with foam tape for a little bit more dimension. Then for my card inside, I have some more pattern paper. I have another snippet of laser lace. I have a laser sentiment and a little bow. Now we saw the happiness rub-on on the card front, it just goes right across here. And here I have some more rub-ons as well. This Look at You is a rub-on, and this beautiful collage design that you see here is also a rub-on, quite a large one actually. It's this whole border piece that I've put on here. So you can see how fun and how versatile those are. And we'll talk more about rub-ons later in this webisode. So that is our first card. Now, you can see with our second card that we're also using the papers and the laser embellishments, and we're also using a very fun, new to me card die. So I'm going to grab a few supplies and we can take a look at how to make this card. This card features the Trifold Surprise Card Die. So let me show you this. I just got this in the mail and I was so excited to use it. So these folding dies are fantastic and a great way to kind of get your creativity jump-started, give you a slightly different format to work on. So here's what it looks like in the package. You can see it's just one piece, and if I bring it in, you can see it looks exactly like this. One piece and one pass through your die cutting machine will do the trick. And you can see on here it will not only cut around the outside edges of your card, but it also creates these score lines in here, which makes everything so easy. And of course, with all hot off the press dies on the back, you've got your step-by-step instructions for the card, and you've got this folding diagram. So it's super simple to follow. The V is for a valley fold, the M is for a mountain fold. Super simple to do. Now, one thing I like to do whenever I get a new folding die is I like to cut it and fold it out of just plain white paper. So then that way I can kind of make sure I have all the folds where they go before I use it on my real paper. So once you have this die cut, this is what your piece will look like. So you can see the valley folds, the mountain folds, and how this will work like so. Now, of course, it can go this way. It can also go this way. So both options work just fine. And I have to say the 12 by 12 pattern papers are perfect from this. So here I've cut this card shape from a sheet from the 12 by 12 collection. And then I just added the laser cut embellishment. So I've got a faux ribbon border going along the edge. I've got a small collage of overlapping elements. Now, one trick when gluing intricate items like this word lovely, I like to use the sticky specks. They just make things a little bit easier, especially for intricate shapes. Then here I have another word laser cut added with some foam tape. Got another little laser cut piece on here too. And then when I open the card out or unfold it a bit more, I've got a tiny butterfly collage here with some leaves. Now these are all up on foam tape for a little bit more dimension. And I have this small collage here of the faux postage, the butterfly, and a little, they almost look like berries, a little laser cut embellishment on here. This format is so much fun that I actually kept on decorating and added a little sentiment and a butterfly on the reverse side of the card too. So again, remember you can do both ways. So let's take a look at another card, which is using that same reverse format. And I also use the 12 by 12 papers here. And I'm going to point out, this is essentially the same collage style layout. So again, I've got my faux ribbon on here. I've got my small collage cluster with that tag and some elements here. And I wanted to show them both to you because I think it's a good way to see how you can get two very different looks from the same batch of supplies and the same card die and the same layout. So with this card though, I also added some rub-ons. So I have some rub-on leaves on here. I've got a rub-on on my tag as well. So I've got some elements kind of mixed in together with those laser cut embellishments. So those laser cut leaves and butterflies are mixed in with some rub-on leaves on here too. And then when I open the card, I've got a You Shine rub-on here in this space. And then I've also got another collage here with a laser cut tab, and then I have a rub-on dragonfly. Now this is overlapping here, so it is possible to overlap your rub-ons onto some slightly thicker but not too much thicker paper embellishment. So that will still go. As long as it's not too thick, it will do the trick. So for those of you who are new to rub-ons, or maybe you haven't used them for a long time, they make such a beautiful addition to any card project. So why don't we take a look at how easy those are to use. With this card, I created a layered collage of rub-ons on top of a collage patterned background. This is such a great way to make a mixed media design and again, to work on some collage techniques simply and easily. So let me show you the paper that I was working with. So as you can see, it's already got this gorgeous collage design on here, some faux text, also these beautiful leaves printed on here. And all I wanted to do was just enhance this section over here by adding some more leaves and a flower. So I've got this leaf rub-on, this cluster, this flower, and then this leaf down here as well. So it's all nestled in this area here. So remember with your rub-ons, you've got some sheets that have beautiful, beautiful watercolor style leaves. And then you've also got some flowers to go along in a variety of different sizes. And you can overlap your rub-ons, so they don't have to be completely spaced apart. They can be layered one on top of the other. So that's what I've done here. So let me show you how easy this is to do. I'm going to bring in this other piece of really beautiful paper. And I've got this center area here, and I thought what I could do is maybe create a small cluster collage up here in the corner with some leaves and a flower focal. So I've already trimmed out the leaves from the main rub-on sheet, but as you can see, I've kept the liners together. So I've kept these two pieces together just so that things stay together a little bit more. So what I can do is kind of play with the positioning here and say, okay, I want this going this way, or, you know, these two kind of creating a bit of a mirror with this round section in the center here. And then because I've got my rub-on applicator, I'm all set to go. I don't need to do anything else. So what I'm going to do is just set this aside and scoot that leaf aside, and then I'll start with this element. So I'm taking away this liner piece, and I'm just going to position this down. So I've got this in place. Now all I need to do is use the applicator tool to really burnish this in place. And this is the part of the magic. So easy to do. I love this approach to collage. It just creates a really, really nice and easy foundation. So I'm just rubbing this on here. You don't need to sort of stab at it. I work with the edge of the tool here. And then I'm going to gently lift. Ooh, looks like I need to go back and get that little splotch on there. And gently working this along. Got one more splotch on here. So I lift this up really slowly and gently so that I can place it back if I need to. So there you can see I've got my collage piece already started. Now I'm going to come back with my second leaf rub-on, and here again I want to just double check and make sure I'm positioning them close enough together so that they will overlap nicely. So again, remove this liner piece, position this down, and they can touch, they can overlap, that's no problem. And then again, come in and do some burnishing. So the tool comes with the rub-on pack, so you don't have to look around your craft room to find something that will do the trick, although if you misplace your applicator stick, you can always use a bone folder, will also work. The handle of your scissors, that kind of thing can do the trick as well. Okay, and then I'm going to just gently pull this up again, kind of walking it along to make sure that I've got all of this image transferred. Okay, there we go. So again, really beautiful. And then I'll come in with my final piece, which is this gorgeous blossom. And here's where I can do some overlapping. So I can kind of play with the angle on here, see where I want this to go, place it down so it's overlapping both of these leaves. Now, sometimes what I like to do is kind of fold back a little corner of the plastic. This makes it easier to grab the plastic piece off if I need to do that. And that works really nicely with small rub-ons. So you just kind of fold back a piece of that stiff plastic, so then it makes it a little bit easier to have a piece of the plastic to grab and pull back. Okay, let's see how we're doing. You don't have to put a lot of strength into it, and it doesn't take too long. Okay, and by rubbing on here, I'm not lifting off the other rub-ons that I've done. So it creates a really nice and easy effect. So here I've got my flower with my beautiful leaves on here, and again, I could add in any of those laser cut elements or embellishments, or I could simply leave this as is. Super simple to do. So that's what I've done for this card project here. Now, I've got a couple of other elements that I just want to point out. So again, I've inked around the outside edges of the card front. So I've covered it with some of this faux texture purple paper, cut this collage paper slightly smaller, inked around both of those with that Midas Gold ink pad. And then I've just added some small collage elements here. This is another rub-on down here. Got a little butterfly up on foam tape. This message is up on foam tape. This frame corner is also up on foam tape. Now there are 2 frames in the laser collection, and they're a nice substantial size, but I only wanted a little snippet of it. So I just grabbed my scissors and trimmed off a section of this. So feel free to alter those elements in there as well. So you could certainly do that too. Then for my card inside, I've got the other part of the frame. I've also got a tag here with a rub-on sentiment. And the frame portion is looped around the string on that tag before being glued down. And I've got a little butterfly rub-on on here as well. And this is our final card project for today. So a big thank you to our friends at 49 and Market for this absolutely stunning collection. So easy to work with and so many beautiful elements. And everything comes together, as we've seen, so easily. A big thank you to you for joining me today. We're really happy that you're here, and we're just so glad that you're part of the Paper Wishes family. Do feel free to leave a comment because we love to hear what you think. Each item can be purchased separately and you can see them below. However, we've also bundled them into a creative money saver just for you. Be sure to see the money saver on the right side of your screen at paperwishes.com. And if you're watching us on YouTube, just have a look in the description box below this video. You'll find a link that will take you to our Paper Wishes webisodes page, and you can see everything I just mentioned. If you enjoyed our video today, we'd really appreciate a thumbs up. It helps people to find our channel. And don't forget to subscribe. We create 3 to 5 videos each week, so there's always something fun to inspire your creative spirit.